Aries, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early March 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in energy and see what's happening for the lovely Aries collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do you got for us Rams in early March? We're getting very close to our birthday season, my friends. I hope you're getting ready. Let's see what energies, messages, insights we could take a peek at. And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Aries, gang. Please and thank you. Let's get this first card out nice and quick. What's the vibe? There we go. Ask and you shall receive. Now, this card usually has two main meanings. It kind of splits because it could speak about confidence and aesthetics, but it's also an energy that's somewhat laying low, where it's like, no, I'm just in my own lane, doing my own thing. I do think it's generally good. Now, before we really dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the March subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk a little bit more about this card. Very unique in its imagery, right? We see this lady, she's amidst that little flock of birds. I'm not sure if they're cranes or storks or some kind of bird flock going on here, and she's somewhat blending in with the crowd. So that's always the first thing that comes to my mind, like, okay, this is someone that's either laying low, blending in. For a lot of Aries, you might just be doing your own thing. You're focused on you, focused on your mission, focused on your goals. Not necessarily a bad thing. For some of you, this could be someone you're connected to that might be laying low, being a little bit quiet whenever this card is here. But if that's not the case, I think since this card is so beautiful, this woman is dressed up. For a lot of Aries, now might be a good time to update the look, update the aesthetics, whether it's like the hair or the wardrobe. So for some Aries, there could be a focus on how you present yourself to the outer world. Okay, so it could be one of those, it could be both of those. I mean, it could be neither for all of you, but I feel like this is generally a pretty good vibe to have. Okay, so, I mean, at the very least, it's someone there, it's like, I'm just doing my own thing. So we're going to leave her be. She could chill over there. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card there, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Aries, gang. What do we got in early March? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled An Unexpected Talk. Now, if that hasn't popped up for you, whether speaking to someone you weren't expecting to speak to or a talk that you weren't expecting to have, one that pops up out of the blue, that energy can linger for a couple weeks. So yeah, I mean, keep an eye out for that. You might be having some very interesting combos, but we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone, so only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Aries, gang. What do we got? Please, in early March, as we get closer and closer to Aries season. Okay, so the communication energy is still somewhat showing up here. We have the Ace of Pentacles. That's a good card. That's a good way to start. Okay, I don't want to get too overly excited or ambitious about that just yet, but that is a good place to start. Let's get a couple more. What do we got for Aries, please? Early March, thank you. Okay, 4 cups, lots of thinking. Think. Whether that's you or somebody else. 4 cups is most definitely in its head. Let's get one more here. What do we got for Aries in early March? Thank you. Okay, so there is this really strong emphasis on thought, because 2 more cards did show up. We have the 8 of Swords right here on the back end, and this is most definitely a possible overthinking. And for a bonus, we also have the 7 of Cups. So all of these cards link to the mind. Now, listen, as an Aries myself, I know we're generally action-oriented people, but this energy is very cerebral so far with what I'm picking up. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, elementally, there is a lot of internal energy happening here. We do have earth in the beginning, which is really good. I mean, that's a grounded energy. We have water, we have air, we have a little bit more water showing up here. So it's like we have emotional energy, we have logical There's a lot of communication energy here as well. So it's an interesting mixture of stuff. But just know in this time, you might be feeling things a little more intensely. Now, as an Aries myself, I know we're intense to begin with. Even if we're not always showing, we're just intense people with intense personalities. And that is showing up here on the back end for sure. But let's go through piece by piece and really start to build this out, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of nuance in this reading this week. But position number one, we'll start here with the Ace of Pentacles. I love it. Now, I love all aces. They all represent offers. They all represent opportunities. This could be new things of various different kinds, whether, like I said, whether it's new offers, opportunities, or even people. With the Ace of Pentacles, to me, it's a golden opportunity from the universe, where the universe is like handing you an alley-oop, where it's like you just got to meet them halfway, or meet the universe halfway and really collect this. Now, there are some issues with all aces, and it is also a card of speaking. So whether it's a message, whether it's you getting something off your chest or somebody getting something off theirs, it is linked to communication. The Ace of Pentacles, as with all aces, is not a guaranteed energy. That's a big thing, because it is so fresh, it's so vibrant. It's not guaranteed. So there could be something where it's like, all right, well, if you don't make a move, if you don't take any action, this Ace of Pentacles could go bye-bye. And we kind of see that here in the center too. And we'll talk about that. But there could be various situations you're dealing with where time is of the essence when this card is here. Rougher sides, I mean, that's really the big drawback to aces, is that like it's something that can wither and go away. But we'll see what it's about. This is great for money and business too. But moving to the center, we have the Four of Cups. This is where we really make that switch into more of a cerebral type of energy happening here. We see this individual, they're chilling under the tree. They might be taking a nap. Notice the universe is handing this person another cup. So it's like we have opportunity after opportunity coming towards somebody. So for a lot of Aries, you might need to take a closer look at certain things. Like, hey, you might have more coming your way than you think you do. There could be something that has a lot more potential than you think it does with an energy like this. Now, the Four of Cups is really not the biggest Aries type of vibe, right? So, like I mentioned, we're action-oriented individuals for the most part. This person's not doing much. So in the positive sense, it could be very imaginative. It could be creative. So the mental juices could be flowing in this time. It's a great time to express yourself. But this person literally is not doing anything. So I feel like for a lot of Aries, either a lot of stuff is coming your way, or there's more potential with something than you might realize with this card. Four of Cups can sometimes also represent delays, issues in that realm. So we're not going to harp on it. I mean, it could be someone specific on your mind. This could be someone that has you on the mind as well, because remember, it's very, very deep in thought. And the same could be said with the rest of the cards. There's just a lot of thinking. Now, when there's a lot of thought-based energy, either it's somebody overthinking, planning, strategizing, it could be any of that. Now, moving to the back end, we do have the Eight of Swords. We see this individual, they're blindfolded, they're hoodwinked, they're surrounded by the swords. I always say this energy could feel a little bit trapped. So all challenge energy is on a spectrum. Okay, it doesn't always mean this is a worst case scenario. For some Aries, maybe it's your day-to-day routine that you need to mix it up, shake it up a little bit. Could be having a little bit of cabin fever when this card is here. But the Eight of Swords is like stress, anxiety, nervousness, either that or feeling trapped by something. Worst case scenario, when we get to the challenge of this, it could be someone where it's like, all right, well, nothing I could really do about it. Kind of just need to let it process how it's going to process. I don't want to say it's somebody feeling like there's sense of helplessness, but with the Eight of Swords, it's like my hands are literally tied. But again, it could just be the overthinking. Now, positive with this card is that as quick as it comes, that's as quick as it goes. So if there is a problem or an issue popping up, the Eight of Swords tells us like, okay, it's solvable. It's something you could work through. So that's a good thing. This could also represent feeling liberated, feeling free. So there could be various things going on where you feel like the handcuffs have come off, so to speak. So we'll take a closer look at this. Now, moving to the very back end, we do have a bonus card, which we don't always get every week. It's the Seven of Cups. Offers, opportunities. I always say this is like the menu board of life. This is a huge card for manifestation. So when we have all this stuff in the front, and this has a bonus, it's like, no, Aries, you got more coming in than you think you do. Now, this could be someone deciding, making a choice. But again, it's just like these two combined. The mental action, the thoughts. So make sure your mind isn't getting away with you or that you're overthinking something. Because again, we're action-oriented people, but just like any human being, we could be prone to just overthink things. So I want to dive deeper on all of it, Aries. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. All right, let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. What is happening? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Ace of Pentacles. Is it a communication? Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Aries, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Ace of Pentacles time. What's this about? What is this about? Thank you. Okay, hard fought. All right, so for a lot of Aries out there, if there's something you've been pushing towards, like Spirit is most definitely saying, don't give up just yet. That's like the initial thing I'm picking up, because with the Seven of Wands, that's somebody fighting for something. If you are going through a hard time, if you're going through a difficult process, whether it's within yourself, an emotional thing, or outside circumstances, when I see the Seven of Wands, it's like, I'm determined. There's nothing that's going to get in my way. For a lot of you, there could be a payoff coming in, or a big offer where it's like, okay, that trouble or that stress was worth it. That's kind of the energy I'm picking up here. So maybe some Aries need to adopt that mindset. There's something that you shouldn't totally throw out the window. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I don't know why that's coming up, but it is. The Seven of Wands, again, it can be confrontational too. So I would say watch out for the explosive talks, you know, because this is kind of fighting. And with the Ace of Pentacles, it could be like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So it can be an aggressive kind of talk. But the main thing I'm picking up here is there is something that you should not give up on just yet. This could be a big payoff or an offer coming in where it's like, I worked for this, I got this. So I feel like that's awesome. That's a good way to start. Hopefully it's not an argument of some kind, but we're just going to keep moving. Let's see what the Four of Cups has, because I do feel like this could be the best result. We want to see what all this mental action is, whether it's you or somebody else. So let's see what that Four of Cups has for Aries, please. What does the Four of Cups have? Thank you. Okay, we do have Lady Justice. Really, someone's really taking their sweet time with something. And I do think that could be a good approach. We have Lady Justice, that's our sister sign, right? Libra, they're right across the zodiac from us. So it's like the yin to our yang. And when I see Lady Justice, sometimes it can represent legal things, so watch out for legal situations. She is the biggest karmic card. So when I see her with the Four of Cups, it's somebody like, I don't want to do this wrong, or I don't want to mess this up. I really want to be considerate or thoughtful in my approach. So again, if you're having dealings with somebody and you're not quite getting the results you want, there is somebody possibly like trying to not mess something up. Or that's at least how it feels to me on an intuitive sense. It's like, no, I want to do this the right way. I want to take my time with this. Now, this can be an advice for some Aries too. I've been saying it multiple times. Maybe it's part of the message that we are generally action-oriented people. When we see all this thought, when we see all this consideration, this might be advice from Spirit saying, whoa, no action just yet. Really think something through, because that's just how this feels to me. Now, yes, Lady Justice could be karmic. I'm getting a lot of energy off of this card, but it's a very considerate type of energy. So I feel the main things, we've already mentioned it. It could be somebody that's trying not to mess up, or they don't want to mess something up, and they're being considerate in their approach. Okay, so that could be an advice. And we'll see if we get more karmic energy. This could most definitely signal a karmic situation for sure. But we're just going to have to see. And I will say this, for anything that you're putting your signature on, whether it's contractual, whether it's government forms, anything that's legal, be very cautious with it. Let's keep moving. Let's see what the Eight of Swords has. So we do have someone being thoughtful in their approach, but it's like, I'm taking my time. I'm taking my time here. I don't want to mess something up. But let's see what the Eight of Swords says. Maybe there's something that shouldn't be rushed. That's very possible. But why is the Eight of Swords in the mix? Thank you. Okay, Three of Cups in reverse. Okay. So watch out for outside stresses and outside influences, because when I see the Three of Cups particularly, it can speak of like third parties, people that are like connected to us, but could even be like a step of separation. And when I see the Eight of Swords and the Three of Cups, like for some Aries, you might be extra stressed by people in your circle, or they could be very well stressed too. Like this, to me, I don't know why I'm giggling, but I feel like someone's having a difficult time, and they could either be in hermit mode or they might need hermit mode. It's bringing me back to this in the very beginning, where it's someone they're laying low. similar to here, it's like I'm laying low, I'm being very considerate about something, because this is a very stressed, anxious, nervous energy right here on the back end. Okay, so if this is somebody you're having difficulties with, they're wound tight right here on the back. Now, the Three of Cups in reverse is not having a good time. Okay, so there could be various situations where it could be more difficult than you thought it would be. Okay, with the Eight of Swords, Three Cups in reverse, it's like, okay, this isn't fun anymore, or this isn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. But yeah, then there's also this weird thing about like someone getting into hermit mode and not being too social. So especially for you, watch out for outside influences stressing you out. Okay, like whether it's people giving their opinions or people affecting your situations, it's just a very bizarre energy. So again, the lay low approach might be best, especially with what we saw here in the center, what we saw in the beginning. There's a time and a place to make moves. There's also a time and a place to just like chill. And that's kind of an energy I'm picking up here. But let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow card. Very intriguing, layered type of reading for us this week. But position number one before we get into the shadow card, we have the Ace of Pentacles with the Seven of Wands in the upright. Now, this could be something you've worked for a very long time, something that you're putting a lot of effort into. Spirit could also be telling you, hey, don't give up on this just yet, because this can most definitely be a payoff or an offer coming in where it's like, this is what you wanted, here it is. So just know there could be various things like that. It's like, well, you manifested it, you wanted it, here you go. So again, whether it's the payoff or the offer, it's showing up. Moving to the center, we have the Four of Cups with Lady Justice in the upright. Yeah, it could be a karmic situation, most definitely. Be cautious with anything legal or contractual in this time. But I feel like this is someone being very cautious in their approach, where it's like, I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to make the wrong move. I don't want to take the wrong turn here. Okay, so that could either be advice or how someone's acting, because there is a lot of thought-based consideration happening. On to the back end, we have the Eight of Swords with the Three of Cups. I do get this stressed, overwhelmed type of energy, so watch for the overthinking. The reading's not bad. It just feels like there's a lot going on in the mind with what I'm picking up here. Now, for a lot of areas, maybe you should be in hermit mode. Maybe you need to retract your energy, because I do feel like outside sources could bring extra stress into whatever situation you're dealing with. So please take a screenshot. Let's see what's in the shadows. There's definitely this vibe of be cautious with it. Don't give up, but take your time. So let's see what shadow card is here for you this week. And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get your one. Oh, and if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. What's in the shadows for Aries King? Thank you. Okay, Five of Pentacles. There's this solitary energy that's like super, super peculiar. So when I get the Five of Pentacles showing up in the shadows, yeah, it can represent a solitude type of vibe, which we kind of picked up in traces throughout this whole entire reading. I would say watch out for anything financial, watch out for money things in this time, but the Five of Pentacles can also represent missing somebody, longing for something. So just know for a lot of Aries, there could be various things where it's like, oh, I just wish I had this, or there's a longing for something. That could be how someone feels towards you, for sure. Watch out for abandonment issues in this time, or just feelings of solitude, which is bizarre because I have this energy where it's like, all right, well, maybe you want to get into hermit mode right here, but with this Five of Pentacles, it's like, that might not be the full answer, but I think for the time being, just a cautious approach with everything is very important. Watch out for feelings of loneliness, for sure. So we're just going to put that down right there, Aries. That's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the March subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me and get a little glimpse into whatever situations you're dealing with, you can check out my digital calendar on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The March schedule is up and live. But for the March subscriber surprise, giving away 3 copies of one of my most favorite decks, the Everyday Witches Tarot. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, where in this beautiful big world are you from? I'll go first. I'm from New Jersey. And you could just put it down in the comments and you'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll talk to you soon.